Hi, class. Here we are on the final lap toward the finish line. Now, today we would have completed week 12, and week 12 saw us looking at sex and gender. As we looked at sex and gender, we were able to identify cultures that are non-Western versus Western, and to see how gender was viewed through the eyes of some of these cultures. Now we move on to week 13, and week 13 opens tonight at 11:59 p.m. Week 13 will see us looking at race and ethnicity. Guys, I can't wait for us to get into week 13 to hear some of your thoughts as we look at videos, as we look at documentaries, as we read articles. That helps us to open our eyes to some of the issues that we face as a society in looking at race and ethnicity. Then we move on to week 14. Week 14, we will look at the family. In looking at the family, we will look at the functions and structure of the family, including things such as marriage and divorce. This week will end all lectures, discussions, and quizzes. Yay! And now we move on to the final week in the class, that is week 15. Week 15, you will have the opportunity to present a final paper in the form of a socio-autobiography. This socio-autobiography will have you looking at specific things. And so it's not just something that you will just create abracadabra out of your head. This is not something that will take you into Google University. Rather, it will be unique to your own individual experiences growing up. Once you get to this part of the class, then there are 3 documents that you will need to look at to help you in terms of figuring out what it is that you have to do. You go here, you click on the links, and the link includes the grading rubric. The grading rubric you want to look at very closely. Then it have you looking at the research paper in terms of the requirements, and I'm going to talk about that in a hot minute. In addition, it has you looking at the associate autobiography in terms of what it ought to look like, right? You will see right below this there is a YouTube video that I very specifically outlined the expectations in the socio-autobiography. Now, just to get a little bit more specific here, right? I want to remind you that you're looking at 5 life experiences, and I have suggested age ranges for the 5 life experiences, but of course, you can choose your own, right? These are just suggested. Now, bearing in mind that you may not quite remember everything that has occurred in your life, especially earlier on. So for this assignment, it is okay to speak with family members, to speak with family friends, to help you to reconstruct experiences in your life. And once you're able to construct these experiences, you're going to use 3 theories, only 3 theories. Of course, you choose two of the 3. And these theories include the functional integration theory, the conflict theory, and the symbolic interaction theory. No other theory. So I don't want you telling me from a feminist perspective. I don't want you to tell me from an interactionist perspective. These are the only 3 theories that are acceptable here. Which means then there's no internet searches that you need to do because everything can be found in your textbook. And of course, your experiences, that's all you. Right? So you're going to use this to create your 10-page paper. Now, I am acutely aware that some of you don't like writing papers. and would much rather another alternative. So I have created for the first time an alternative to the paper, and this alternative is a final exam or a quiz. And I don't really like to use the word quiz here because you've had quizzes throughout the semester. So this is an exam. This is an exam which looks at chapters 4, 7, and 11 of your textbook. So you must have your textbook in order to do this. If you don't have your textbook, guys, you're going to be lost. This exam has 150 questions, and you're allotted 3 hours in order to finish it. It must be completed in one sitting. So you want to create a block of time, a 3-hour block of time that you can complete this exam. Do not, under any circumstances, attempt to take it on a cell phone. You want to be either at a desktop or a laptop to ensure that you have a stable Wi-Fi signal. If you walk away from the exam for any reason and the exam closes you out, that's it. So make sure you do your potty stop before you start the exam. Make sure that you take care of that baby that may need feeding, that may need to be changed before the exam. Make sure that you have ample time from your employer before you take the exam. Just make sure that everything is right, because the moment you sit in front of that computer and hit the start button, you have to finish it. What happens if you don't finish it? The moment the computer realizes that you haven't been there for a while, it will close you out and submit whatever it is that you have gotten up to that point. All right, that's it. So again, my suggestion, make sure you have a stable internet, make sure you're on a desktop or a laptop, make sure that you have carved out 3 hours out of a 3-hour block of time in order to do this exam. And last but not least, and most important of all, make sure you have your textbook with you. And you may want to mark these chapters. You may want to review the chapters before you even start the exam, just so you have a heads up. All right. Now, last but not least, I want to quickly review the grading rubric, right? So, or the grading policy. Now, I know some of you may have questions in terms of how am I doing in the class? Am I on course to pass or fail the class, right? So if you take a look at this grading rubric, it goes back to when the class started way back in January. And it tells you at the end of each week how many points you have the possibility of gaining. So at the end of each week, at the end of most weeks, you have the possibility of gaining 40 points. And there's some weeks that you have the possibility of gaining 100 points. Now, we are now in week 12. And of course, week 12 ends tonight. So if you wanted to check, let's say after the grades for week 12 are in, right, that will give you an idea as to how you're doing so far. And I hope that is helpful to you. And guys, here we are at the end. All right. I look forward to seeing you in the threads, especially excited as we go into the discussion of race and ethnicity. Thank you and have a wonderful week, a wonderful weekend, and a wonderful upcoming week. Bye-bye.